glorious October the 6th, 2022. Beautiful sunny day after 5 miserable rainy days from the remnants of that damn storm Ian. Glorious day. We deserve this, and we're in for a good stretch of good weather from here on out. Gonna do something a little different today. We're at the Anderson Street Station in Hackensack, New Jersey. Gonna rail fan the Pascack Valley Line of New Jersey Transit, the old NJ in New York Railroad that runs up to Spring Valley. We'll cover a number of stations on this beautiful afternoon, starting here. Runs up from NJ and NY Junction or Pascack Junction off the Bergen County line. Single track running, street running in this town. Approaching at 11:49 a.m. is train 1161 for Spring Valley. Loads of grade crossings in this town. Coast Guard unit, ALP 45DP. He's got a sweet sounding K5LA horn, and you'll hear him make a lot of noise as he leaves town. Wow, listen to that Doppler effect. From what I've heard, the Pascack Valley Line is a horn freak's delight. This line started out as the Hackensack and New York Railroad in 1856. Then it became the New Jersey and New York Railroad. Then it was bought out by the Erie Railroad, subsequently became the Erie-Lackawanna Railroad, Conrail, and now it's part of New Jersey Transit. Runs up to Spring Valley. It's sort of a joint New Jersey Transit Metro North operation, depending on the state. The New York State's stations on this line are funded by Metro North, but it's under contract for New Jersey Transit. Line used to go to Haverstraw, New York years ago. Now it only goes to Spring Valley. This line has a number of historic station buildings, some very attractive ones. We'll try to get them. This particular one is at River Edge. Station was built in 1870, caught fire from a spark from a passing train, and was rebuilt in 1902. Well, this is the first time I've ever rail fanned the Pascack Valley Line other than riding it. I've gotten a lot of rave reviews about it, saying it's worth visiting with all the beautiful train depots they have on it. Well, things fell into place today. The weather certainly did. I want to tell you, after the dreary weather we had 5 days straight of rain, and makes you glad to be alive when you have a day like this. Incidentally, I identified that last train at Anderson Street in Hackensack as train 1161. Well, I got the digits right, but the wrong order. It was actually 1611. Pascack Valley Line for many years was a rush hour only operation. Several trains coming down in the morning and a few more going back at night. In fact, this was one of the last bastions for the old U-34CHs. They ran quite frequently on this line at the very end of service in those locomotives. This Since they built some sidings on this line, they're able to operate off-hour service. It's not as busy as the main line or the Bergen County line service, but it's good enough, especially during the rush hour. 12:48, the gates are going down for train 1626, Spring Valley to Hoboken. Sounds like he's got a Jeep on the back. Combining these old locomotives with these historic looking depots really puts a lot of nostalgia on this branch. Now we're still at River Edge, waiting for train 1613 from Hoboken to Spring Valley. He's doing it at 1:15. And I have my granddaughter to thank for me coming up on this line today. I was supposed to visit her. She lives in New Jersey. We were going to spend the day together, but at the last minute she got called to work. So since I was psyched to come out to Jersey anyway, I figured, what could I do on such a gorgeous day that's a little bit original? And this is what I decided to do, railfan the Pascack Valley Line. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and today's about as great a day as any to do this. And 1:16, here comes 1613. P40 PH-2P 4206. Now we're at one of the more ornate structures on this line, the historic Oradell station, which is on the National and State Register of Historic Places since 1984. This station was built in 1870 and rebuilt in 1890. The community has purchased this building, one of the prettier buildings on this line. Well, this sign says it was built in 1873, but in any event, regardless, it's old. Yeah, it's October, folks, but it feels wonderful today. It's about 71 degrees. Absolutely gorgeous day. Well, here's a reminder of this line's Erie Railroad heritage. Note the milepost from Jersey City, where the Erie trains used to originate. 18 miles. Oradell is just a delightful town. It's 1:50 p.m. About to pass Hoboken bound through here without stopping is train 1628. Spring Valley to Hoboken. Has a rather odd schedule. Runs non-stop from Pearl River, New York to New Bridge Landing Station. Here he comes, 1628. Coming out of that Kodachrome blue sky. Shoved by the Coast Guard unit. At 2:34, the gates are going down for train 1617, Hoboken to Spring Valley, from the porch of the Oradell station. That's one of the newer ALP 45 DPs. Next stop for him is Emerson, and that's where I'm headed. Now we've moved up the line to the pleasant community of Emerson, New Jersey. This is the Kinder-Camac Road crossing. Here's the Emerson station. Not sure when this was built. It's relatively new compared to other depots on the line. But this town started back in 1870. That's when the railroad reached this location. The town was called Kinder-Camac back then. 1877, it changed its name to Etna, E-T-N-A. And then in 1909, it changed its name to its present name of Emerson. Hey, gates are going down at 3:23, a little late. Train 1630, Spring Valley to Hoboken. And we're waiting for train 1621 from Hoboken to Spring Valley. He's running late because he had to wait for that late 1630 train. New Jersey Transit seems to embrace the K5LA horn, but lately they've been broadening their horizons a little bit. They got a couple of engines that have K5LLA horns. In fact, I think they have one engine with a K5LLA and a K5LLB, and they have a cab car with a K5LLA. Otherwise, they have the K5LA. But soon, in partnership with the United Railway Historical Society in Boonton and New Jersey Transit, a former Jersey Central GP40P is getting a facelift. It's one of the GP40PH-2s. Number 4101 is being painted from its gray livery to an NJ dot scheme, which looks really sharp. And with that, he's getting an S3L horn, similar to what Conrail used. And 347 approaching is 1621. He's got LED lights, which tells me it's one of the newer ALP 45DP engines. Nice to hear mechanical crossing bells. A loud K5LA horn, but a bit of a wheezer. We moved up one station to the gorgeous hamlet of Westwood, New Jersey. And here's the 1932 built stone depot here. Looks sort of like Reading Company depots that I have seen. Little history on the Westwood train station. Looking north on the Westwood platform, the business district here. I want to tell you, the towns on this line are absolutely gorgeous. Splendid looking towns. A lot of people tend to make fun of New Jersey, thinking that it's a crummy place. All the towns are seedy and dirty and filthy and run down, but there's an awful lot of New Jersey that's definitely worth seeing. And this is it. This is Broadway in Westwood. Looks like Main Street, New Jersey. And it's the corner of Broadway and Westwood Avenue, looking east. 422 running a little late is 1626. Spring Valley to Hoboken. You'll make a lot of noise coming into this town. move on to the next station. Hillsdale. Here's a real treasure on this Pascack Valley Line. The Hillsdale station, built in 1870. Looks great. Original headquarters of the New Jersey and New York Railroad. This is one of the many gems of depot buildings on this line, and there are some that I haven't seen yet today, but I will. When I think of Hillsdale, New Jersey, I think about when I started working at British Airways on Park Avenue in New York City back in 1983. I was trained by an assistant supervisor by the name of Joe Brennan. He was from Hillsdale, and he was originally from Scotland. Very kind gentleman, and I emphasize the word gentle when describing him. Very sweet old guy. He wanted to teach me how to play the bagpipes, and I wish I'd taken him up on that, but it's kind of a long distance from my house on Long Island to Hillsdale, New Jersey to take lessons. As far as the bagpipe lessons go, I do know a fellow who's with the New York Police Department Emerald Society, and he plays the pipes, and he only lives a few towns away from me in Massapequa. I ought to ask him to teach me how to play. I'd love to learn how to play the bagpipes, being the Irishman that I am. Now approaching at 4:58 is train 1623, Hoboken to Spring Valley. Beginning of the rush hour now. That last train you saw going towards Hoboken at Westwood, 1626, that was the last Hoboken-bound revenue train you'll see through on this line until after 9:30. This line, like the Gladstone branch of New Jersey Transit and the Port Jefferson branch on the Long Island Railroad, are busy single-track lines. So during the PM rush hour, you have trains going predominantly in one direction with abandon, so it precludes any opposition trains to run on those branches. Henceforth, the big gaps. And the mechanical bells are sounding at the railroad crossings as 1623 comes in. PL 42. We're now at the next stop north at Woodcliff Lake Station. This rather unassuming building. One of the least attractive I've seen today. And this is where Woodcliff Lake gets its name. It's a reservoir. Okay, the gates are going down. 5:33, train 1625. Hoboken to Spring Valley. He's got a Jeep on him. Probably the gem, the best looking station on the Pascack Valley Line is this one, Park Ridge, built in 1872. Looks almost as new as it was when it was built. Okay, here comes train 1627, Hoboken Spring Valley at 5:56. Judging by the horn, it sounds like it might be a Jeep. Who can ask for anything more? EMDs and horns aplenty. Okay, time is 6:10. Our next train by will be an express, train 1629. It's a Metro North Express. Runs nonstop from Secaucus to Pearl River, New York, and Nanuet and Spring Valley. Here he comes as the sun is setting on this beautiful October day. Another DP. Oh, it's almost 6:30 p.m. and the sun is setting. Our last stop on this lovely day visit on the Pascack Valley Line is Montvale, New Jersey. The station is rather unassuming. Looks like it was built in the last 30 years or so. Kind of pales in comparison to some of the other depots I've seen on this line, but it's decent. The Metro North depots on this line in New York State are really nothing to brag about. They're rather ordinary looking structures like the ones on the Port Jervis line. A long shed with girders holding it up. I mean, nothing really spectacular, but these stations on this section of the Pascack have been very inspiring, to say the least. I had hoped to finish the day in Park Ridge, but I decided to go one stop north to Montvale, and this is the enticement. Davy's Irish Pub. I'm gonna have dinner here. At 6:35, he's a little early, is train 1631. Hoboken to Spring Valley Local. Now 1631 is pulling into Montvale, his last stop in the state of New Jersey. Next stop is Pearl River, New York. And it's fitting that the last train of the day is the locomotive painted in my old branch of the service, the Air Force. When they had those Army-Navy specials last December, that engine was elusive.